Hello and welcome there. Welcome to another video of mine. Usually I don't make videos about trending videos or advertisements or anything like that, but this one really angered me. If you want to explain someone what is going on in the world or try to get some more compassion for a certain group, the Young Turks are for sure not the channel and not the people you go for to do so. If you have a look at their content, what they are doing towards people who are thinking in other ways, how they judge people according to their skin color, because if you're white and so on, what they did after the election, insulting, dehumanizing millions of US citizens who voted for the new President Donald J. Trump.
I have no respect for women who voted for Trump, okay?
Yeah, me too.
I think so poorly of them, and the reason why is because, look, I don't think that you're a single issue voter. I just think you're dumb, okay? I think you're fucking dumb.
These are no believable people of humanity. They don't fight for humanity, they fight for a certain sort of thoughts, and the name already said it all. The Young Turks. This was a group of officers and politicians during the time of the First World War in the Ottoman Empire, and they are called responsible for the killings of Armenians, which is considered by most historians, me as well, as a genocide. And it was not a single incident. It was only the biggest one in a row of mass slaughters. So these are the Young Turks, and to use them to transport compassion or to look behind the name refugee is quite bad. Like the title of this whole video is, more than a refugee. Everyone is more than. This is quite natural. No one is just a refugee, no one is just a police officer, no one is just a father or a mother. So the title already is misleading and comes with the agenda to create a different look onto refugees. People who look this video and are pro-refugee, how it pronounced, this means who are for welcoming more and more people, especially out of Syria, Iraq and Northern Africa, will watch this and have nothing changed. There's no challenge for people who are already on this side of the spectrum. And people who have problems or even are contrary, or the most demonized, the most despiteful people, the racists, the real racists, those few you rarely get to see for real, those will not get any point out of this video which asks them to think over their position. So the Young Turk guy met a young girl out of Sudan.
So I met this girl, Catherine, today. She's a remarkable young girl. How long ago did you come here from Sudan?
By the time when I was 14, because those people, they want to kill us, the rebels, we start running. And I left my family all there. I'm just here alone with the stepmom.
And we don't get precise information about, and by that we lose a chance here to educate people what happened in Darfur. Why did people in the south of Sudan tried and successfully tried to get their own country, their own state? Completely gone through the window. She seems to be a beautiful girl, but we don't get any more information than she was attacked by rebels and lost her family and ran, and she loves football. That's all we get out of this whole clip. I have no more information about her, and because of that I can't say anymore. I have no more thoughts on her. I find her nice, and that's all I can say. So we leave this part now behind. But the next one already is the bad one, the really bad one. The girl who introduced us into the video with a nice hello is Miriam, and she's later introduced by a female Muslim YouTuber with a colorful headscarf. And this young Muslima tells us
this girl has something so special about her.
She seems to be a lovely girl. She has a nice and warm smiling. And later on, the female YouTuber continues.
Mariam told me her story, something that I didn't expect.
So, something she not expected was the story of that refugee girl. She met with a girl out of Iraq who fled with her family. What did she expect? What she will tell her for a story? Northern Iraq is a war zone, and the ISIS-controlled areas are hell on earth. To accept this is not hard. It's me who is surprised what he gets to hear, because Miriam now tells about her shocking experience, and it is
كنا عم نمشي وما نمنا بالغابات وأصوات بتخوف ويعني كتير شغلات ماي تبعنا والشغلات اللي جبنا معنا كله خلصوا.
To sleep in the woods, hear voices, and get in danger that they run out of supplies. Yeah, that may feel threatening, but if you lived in a war zone and had to flee because bullets fly around, explosions crack down, and people try to execute you and your family, I rather think that European woods with lots of people with the same fate around you are not that threatening. I don't say it's an easy peasy nice event. I can understand that there are fears inside this, but if this is the most memorable fear out of all, and she just described her time in Iraq, it was better than the war came and we had to flee, and this is all you can get out of this, I have problems with that. I also have a problem with the fact that she states that the war in Iraq was very bad, which it is, but it's only northern Iraq. They fled northern Iraq, but they did not run into southern Iraq, they did not run into Saudi Arabia, they did not run to Lebanon, and they did not stay in Turkey. Why is that? This would be my question. If she liked her life in Iraq, why didn't she turn around and went down with her family to continue living in Iraq? Because the south of Iraq is still controlled by Iraq. They established their military once more. They held control till the last time I had a look, which is not too far back. So she could have stayed there near her home, still with people who are speaking her language, living her life, and
مدرستي راحت هي سنة راحت على الفاضي فرغ.
The ability to continue her school. Because the most important thing, it seems to me, that she has to cry about is that she lost a year in school, and she said so for nothing. Well, anyway, Miriam gives us some spotlights on what happened in her life, more than the Sudanese girl before, but still this is less than a short brief look into it, and doesn't give me an impression who this girl is, and that she raps, that she has a hobby, doesn't link me to her more or less than before. I see this girl and I deeply believe she has a right to live and to choose who she married, and to choose what kind of job she learned. That's literally it. They told us a little bit about this girl. Very confusing stuff for me. I'm aware there is a very short amount of time for this, but I rather advised them to do one single person in this time instead of 3. They would have sent professional journalists instead of YouTube content and so on. This was Miriam. I wish her all the best. I hope she can return into her home and that her home will become a peaceful place in near future. But the very most disturbing is the last one. So Hassan is self-identifying as Palestinian, and this is a whole slipped in agenda about Israel and the 1967 Six-Day War, and it's much too big to discuss now here in response, but it's really outrageous for me that they slipped in this agenda in this video. They did this for no other reason than their own views. I'm absolutely convinced of that. So beside this, they tell us about through him that he has no rights and his children have neither. And this is really idiotic. If you have a closer look to what is going on in Europe with migration, you will see that a big part of the so-called Palestinians who live in Europe have integrated. A big part of them is already part in Europe. Yeah, some refuse to do so, but if you really want to become a part of Europe, there are ways to do so. Perhaps not in every single country of Europe, but in many there are. I know personally at least 2 Palestinians. One of them don't identify as such, but they are in the views of their of the others of this community. And those guys married German women. They did not force them to convert, but I think they converted because reasons, you know. And they founded families, they have jobs, they completely integrated into German society. So this old, and I'm sorry to point this out, fat guy sits in a refugee camp in Greece telling they have no rights. No, the contrary is to the fact. They have more rights than the usual. First of all, if you have a look, for Palestinians, there's an own organization of the UN taking care for these refugees. The rest of these, now in this video stated 65 millions of refugees, is all organized in one big. But refugees out of Palestine, how they call it, they have their own organization. If you look at the amount of money Europe, USA, Canada are shoving in this direction, the tax money out of this money for helping people in Gaza and Western Jordan and in the refugee camps in Lebanon and so on. This is big money. If you break it down to a single one of them, it's still big money. If you have a look what happened 2014 here in Germany, mainly Palestinians and Turkish people and some Arabic people demonstrated on the streets against Israel, and they did this with stuff a German usually would be thrown into jail, or at least has to pay a severe payment and would be exposed as anti-Semitic and Nazi. They even used material of the police to become louder, the microphones and so on, and they were offered them, and they claim stuff, they screamed stuff which is anti-Semitic. They praised Hitler, they showed the raised arm. They you can go have a look. We have enough video material online. the only thing they were angry about Nazi time when they started to scream is that the Nazis were unsuccessful in killing more, and so on. They weren't. These demonstrations had to put to an end at this point. Usually, if a German demonstration would do this, it would be shut down immediately, and rightfully so. Anti-Semites in Germany are a problem. Not only because history, but especially because our history. And they were allowed to do so. And this fat old guy sitting in Greece saying, oh no, we don't have any rights and my children have neither. And if you only have a look how many organizations are there in Gaza and Western Jordan, this is such a bullshit. I can't stand it. There are people that are suffering from persecution who can't stop. There are people who are still held as slaves in Africa. Not these bullshit wagery slave stuff, but they are held in chains, beaten, crippled, killed, not treated as humans, not even treated like an animal. And this old man is sitting there telling me he has no rights. So I have to end now. I became much longer already than I wanted to. Just one short sentence. How many children are in this specific refugee camp? How many dragons had this old man built? And how many children are allowed to play with it? Because I don't see them playing. I just see him playing. So, in short, this is a propaganda piece. It is short. It is very fast cutted. It is telling us so tiny pieces of stories, and I give the two young girls they choose, two young girls and one old man. I give the two young girls the credit. I don't know their background for real. I felt sorry for them already before this video, but I still don't know what they want to tell me. I would do many things other if I would have had something to say in this world, but I don't have. So why do you show me? And the last one is a complete agenda, folks. This doesn't belong in here at all. And I wonder why there's no Asian, like Nepalese refugee. So this is very, very propagandistic with its agenda and with the complete construction of it. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, I wish you a wonderful day, and till next time.